Okay, so this is a radio fair purchase. This is a Coutant LQT100 dual power supply. It's probably from about 1974, so it's 45 years old or thereabouts. You can see it's a little rough and ready. It's definitely showing its age. But this little video is just to show you, it's in reasonably good, acceptable, shall we say, performance standards. In this case, if we switch it on, they have a nice little neon light there. It's a 115 volt neon light popping up, and if I switch the lights off, you can just see kind of the orange glow behind the dials there. It's real old school. What I'm going to do is just to validate some of the values that are coming off this power supply. So with non-tracking on, we then have two separate supplies. This is the on switch. They're isolated. That is, they're effectively two independent supplies. And if we pop the probes in there, you're getting about about 19.7 or so, and of course you've got a fine control just to tweak that voltage up to wherever you need to get it to, 20 volts or so. Of course, compared to the analog displays, that's 20 volts as much as you care to worry about it. And of course, with the digital one, you've even got that kind of accuracy. With the coarse voltage changes, you can just ramp that up to 30 volts, thereabouts, yeah. Or you could bring it all the way down to 10 volts and so forth. So that's a great job. That's working nicely. This is the slave channel, but of course in a separate mode they operate independently. Over here again, if I can just put the probes in, we're measuring about 5 volts, and if I just zoom that up to say 20 or so just by eyeball, 19.7, 19.8. And again, you can have some fine control just to zero in on that value. As much as you want, whatever. So it's working quite nicely as a two separate supply, up to 30 volts. It's designed to give you 30 volts and 1 amp of current per channel. What I want to use it for is dual current supply, or dual voltage supply, for example, experimenting with op amps. So I want to have positive 15 volts here and a negative 15 volts here. And the way we can achieve that is by putting the tracking mode on. And if I flick that on, you'll notice the slave is now being kind of disconnected and everything's being driven by the value of the master channel. And what's happening here is my 20 volts, or whatever that is there, 20.05, is now being matched exactly, or near enough, here, get the values right, minus 20 volts. So you can have a positive supply of 20 and a negative supply of 20 at the same time. And of course, with tracking, it means if I change this, say, down to, about 11 volts, so we'll check that again. Okay, 10.75. And if we go to the other channel here, I get minus 10.75. So the slave is, or the second channel is now definitely the slave to the first. And just by the way of wiring up these different ports, of course, you're going to get the positive rail and the negative rail with respect to a common ground reference, which is the center pins here. So I'm very pleased with it. It cost me a whole 10 pounds from the radio fair. It's a beautiful piece of British engineering from the 70s. A little worse for wear, but 100% functional. So, what a steal.